Are you ever pondering a book from your upcoming TBR and realize that your tea packet totally matches the color scheme? Hey friends, I have a pile of stuff I'm working with this morning, all book related. I did forget to mention the bookmark that my friend Tracy gave me. Tracy just came up to me and she had a few of these that she was passing out, and I love it. I'm so thankful. Next, my notebook. I feel like I just kind of hang out with this notebook. When it's in a different part of the house, sometimes I just want to know where it is. I know, it's like this weird relationship. So I am rewriting this list. And by the way, this is not a fancy notebook. This is kind of like my junk notebook, but it keeps my lists going. All my lists that might end up messy lists go in here. And then let's see here. Oh, this is from November, and I did not read a lot of these books. November got a lot more crazy than I thought it would be, so this list is just going goodbye. Sometimes it feels good to do that. That didn't go anywhere. Okay, next up, this list I have already rewritten here, so I don't need that part of the paper. And in here is, well, this was actually the longer version. This was the condensed version, and this was the rewritten clear version. So, double checking this paper. Oh, that feels so good. Also going goodbye. Now, in my notebook, I've got my year-long challenges listed here, and I have that separate from my personal goals and my monthly challenges I want to get into. And this list will probably end up a crazy mess. I already was unaware of February Regency, and I think Anne at In Search of Wonder mentioned Feb Regency as aligning with her classics challenge. So I added that in there. So this list will end up a mess. Things will get X'd out, things will get added, and eventually I will rewrite this list to show what I actually chose to do. I'm going to stop there. There are other pages in this notebook that include some of the list of things I'm doing, but I forgot yesterday to mention, actually I didn't know it at the point I was talking to you, but when I stopped by my mom's house, who I mention a lot, she gave me a few more books to return to the library for her. I already had this one that I plan to read, even though it's after Christmas, and she suggested, and I read this and I was like, oh, this looks really good. And she encouraged me to read it really quickly, and it has a lot of recipes in it. I'm not your kitchen gal, so I'm not going to sit and study the recipes necessarily. And I was telling her I felt like the book would go by really quickly because I wouldn't necessarily read every word of every recipe, and she agreed. So I'm going to now squeeze 2 Christmas books in after Christmas, but before the end of the year. Okay, so that's a little bit of what I've been doing today, and I would like to know if anyone has heard of this book, The Haunted Bookshop. I assume I'm going to wait and fit it into my autumn reading, but it sounds so good. It was published in 1919 for the first time before it was republished. It sounds so spooky and seasonal, and I want to know if any of you have heard of it. And I Googled, and it is not considered gothic, although I kind of want to, blur that a little bit and use it for the February prompt for the classics challenge. But I'm going to try not to do that, but I would love to fit this in somewhere this year. Tell me your thoughts, and I really appreciate it. So I'm going to get to rewriting my list because this has gotten really messy, and I obviously do not know what I'm doing for all of my buzzword challenges this year. So let's get to work, and I absolutely love these list making, so it's really not work. It's fun. Yay, the list writing is done. This again. Yes, let's throw it away. This list looks so much better. I just turned the names of each month sideways to save a little bit of space, left lots of room for my titles of my books, and I may go back through and put the authors just for fun. But also, I have the word for each month here on the left, and they fit quite well. I got a little bit creative. Honestly, guys, I'm not super artsy. I will never have a journal as beautiful and amazing as most. I like to just keep it simple, clear, and have a little bit of fun. I've got that done. And by the way, I've said this before, but I love, and I often have my lists, which have list. So I have a list, but then my list has a list. And I'll show you these in more depth sometime, but literally my lists have lists. I just like to keep myself a little bit organized, keep my brain straight, and I'm having a blast. I love this organization time, but I'm also okay with having some blanks to allow for whatever may fill in at the time. And actually, I find, because I enjoy the list making process so much, when my list is all the way done, I actually have kind of an emotional downtime. So I'm actually happy to have some suggestions for these, but I'm also totally fine with leaving a lot of these blanks here right up until I need them. So anyway, do your list have lists? Let me know.